dumbass.
I'm not a racist person. I support the BLM movement. I support peacefully demonstrating.
There you go. That was Tucker
What?
Carlson.
The what in the hell?
That was Tucker Carlson. Oh, wow. God.
After a long, hard night.
What in the hell is wrong with people?
Something that will stimulate me. That's why I start each day with Ron's sexual
What is that?
chocolate.
What's that phrase? Better to let people think you're a fool than to open your mouth and prove them right.
Yes.
Something to that effect.
Yep.
I'm gonna put that on the back window of my car
HighPriceDoors.com.
for all the dumbasses out there.
Unbelievable.
Supply line interruptions are definitely here to stay.
I don't know what the hell's going on.
Working at the U.S. Transportation Department.
Are all your computers running slow, or is it just me?
Go to
No, mine's fine.
preparewithmojo.com. That's preparewithmojo.com.
I'm starting to think the interweb has slowed down.
Wake up refreshed, like you slept on a cloud. Get yourself the very
Hello,
best
people.
supplies today. You deserve it.
And I think you know who I mean.
And don't forget our very special promo code, Mojo50, for incredible savings.
When I think of you.
My suggestion was why not create another category so you have
Sled dogs. I think we need a sled dog category.
Sled dog category.
transgender women. And so
I love sled dogs.
Who doesn't, right?
create their own unique category so we are comparing apples to apples. And
Coconuts to coconuts.
Because their whole entire shtick for the transgender community.
See what he did there.
No, these are
Yep.
women. Despite
What
the
we
fact
need
that
is
they
more
have
meat on the bone,
X
people.
chromosomes and a giant hog swinging between their legs, they are women. And you
here, I'll
can't
get
say
it. Wow.
Ah,
Never heard it quite described that way. That's great. See, you've seen Ron naked too. It's
Weekdays, 8 Eastern. Mojo 50. The question isn't who's going to let us. The question is who's going to stop us.
Right.
Adjust your mojo now. Thank you. The mothership has landed. Brad Staggs. The mighty Mojo 50.
I never realized how much I hate rats until this weekend. And I don't mean leftist, I mean rats. Rats. I have spent more time under the hood of the Motel truck than I... When was the last time you tore the top end of an engine down, Ron?
I've never done that.
What?
Yeah,
Come on, everybody's done that. Torn the top end, top of...
I
engine
overhauled a Volkswagen engine back in the 70s.
Whoa, I don't want to
80s
know
or
about your
something,
sex life.
but- No, why? Well, you got rats in your engine?
Some people have said that, and usually it's an ex-wife, if you know what I'm saying. But yeah, hold on a second. You know what it is? I think I have a defective finger. I think that's what it is. It must be the grease.
Is that what she said?
You were exactly. Thank you so much. We'll be here all day. Tip your waitress. The rats have infested, and it's apparently a common problem because the green movement. See, part of the green movement was these auto manufacturers would use a soy-based material to insulate the wires underneath the in the engine, and I guess throughout the whole vehicle. Well, they didn't realize or didn't care that rodents are attracted to this soy-based insulation, and not only do they love to chew it, they love to eat it. So so they get up underneath there, and if you have a vehicle with your check engine light on, and you can't figure out what the hell is going on, it could very well be this, because there's a valley inside of V8s and V6s where just enough airspace exists so that rats and other vermin can get up there and lay down and enjoy themselves, be warm, store their nuts. You know what I mean? I think you do. And they'll cause several $100s worth of damage. But it's been an exciting weekend, and I now know what the inside of a Toyota engine looks like. Isn't that nice? That's fun.
Wow, dude.
Yeah.
How did you discover that that's what was happening, though?
Check engine light.
No,
Check
no, I
engine
get
light. A
that.
bunch of other lights started flashing, and there's this weird thing called the interweb, and if you start keying stuff in there, eventually you come up with a cause.
If you type in all your symptoms, eventually you have cancer.
Exactly.
And,
Yes, I believe I have several forms of cancer, I think, and a couple of STDs. Did I say that last part out loud? I did not mean to. It's quite the Monday here at the Daily Mojo. There's a lot going on. An SUV in Waukesha, if you watch the mainstream media, it drove itself through a crowd at a Christmas parade. It was a horrendous scene. There was a video of it last night on Twitter. Suburban Black Man, I think, tweeted that. I put it out there again, and it's just... I mean, you can hear this car or this SUV thudding into people. It was a marching band that he hit first, it looked like. And I mean, it was just, turns out he was fleeing another crime scene. So he was running from the cops and just plows through these. And by the way, the reason you're not seeing who it is in a whole lot of places, it was a black guy. And he has a criminal record. Plus, he's out on $1,000 bond. So, yeah, he is a convicted felon, long criminal record. His name is Daryl Brooks. David Brooks, different kind of.
So is this the guy that they say they have as a person of interest?
Yes. Yeah.
But are we pretty sure he was the one driving the SUV?
Yeah, sure looks like it.
Okie dokie.
Yes. And the guy obviously not only is a criminal, but he's a dumbass. Because he parked the vehicle in the driveway.
In his driveway?
Facing out.
Idiot.
So you can see the damage done to the front end of the vehicle. It really is, I mean, this was a disturbing scene in Waukesha. But we will, and obviously now there are 5 dead, 40 injured. It was a Christmas parade. And, it's because it doesn't fit the media narrative, you'll likely see this one go poof and just disappear. Also, the Kyle Rittenhouse thing is, it just gets weirder and weirder. I mean, the idiots on Twitter, and by idiots, I mean all of the Hollywood type. These people are either they're genuinely dumb or they...
Which is the direction I'm leaning.
I just didn't realize that they were all that stupid. And for I mean, seriously, I thought that the Mandalorian was smarter than...
No, he is.
He is.
He's a jump out there lefty.
He really is. I thought he was. I thought he was smart, but
Wouldn't surprise me. He's the one that had what's her name fired.
Oh, yes,
Gina Carano.
Yeah, her. Let's see here. I had a piece of audio from the Mandalorian, but again, my defective fingers are not working this morning. There it is.
Thought you said you weren't the gambler.
Yeah. In any event, it was Pedro Pascal who put out there on Twitter that he is he's upset. He doesn't understand how this verdict could happen, and he put, I think, "Rest in peace, JoJo." Was that him or Mark Ruffalo that said, "Hey, rest in peace, JoJo"?
Well, there was somebody. Well,
Pedro Pascal.
It was Pedro Pascal said something about. He said a name and JoJo.
Yeah, Joseph Rosa. This is Pedro Pascal. He, him. Just so you know, in case you were wondering.
But doesn't JoJo stand for something?
Joseph Rosenbaum, JoJo.
Right, but no, somebody said JoJo was something else. Maybe it was that it was referring to a pedophile.
Well, there could be that, yeah. Since he is a convicted one.
Yeah.
And then Anthony Huber, and Pedro Pascal says, murdered August 25th, 2020. Rest in peace. And the amazing thing is that there are people who were victimized by Rosenbaum and family members of people victimized by Rosenbaum who replied to Mark Ruffalo's tweet. Mark Ruffalo said, "We come together to mourn the lives lost to the same racist system that devalues black lives and devalued the lives of Anthony and JoJo." This is Mark Ruffalo talking about the two scumbags. And then someone else replied to him and said, "I'm not going to talk about the Rittenhouse case verdict or my opinion on it, but instead I want to reflect on the insane amount of people praising Rosenbaum, including celebrities. In the early 2000s, my younger brother was sexually abused with, I think, about a dozen other kids by Rosenbaum. The court cases are sealed because they were minors, so I won't be providing the names of any of them or the exact charges. He and every other victim deserve privacy. We already had batshit crazy conservatives try to unseal the case so they could tout the victim stories as a gotcha moment. Anyway, the effer pleads out of like 11 counts of child rape. There were more accusations. They just never made it to court and only got like 10 years. My brother and I are late 20s, early 30s now, and he has mostly moved on. But up until he was 14, he would cry almost every night and ask to sleep in the same bed as me or my sister or my mom. I can only imagine what the other victims are going through. Now, somehow, he made his way to Kenosha and was shot dead. Whatever, couldn't care less. Also couldn't care less about the trial or the verdict of Kyle. What gets me is all these effing celebrities calling him cutesy effing nicknames and talking about him like he was such a great human being. R.I.P. Joseph, such a kind soul. He didn't deserve this. Pedro Pascal is a good actor, but somehow saw fit to call this piece of shit a hero." Mm-hmm. And it goes on. But and Reese Witherspoon.
Yep, I saw it. She should have just shut the hell up. She was all good. Maria Shriver's, that's the one that I was reading to you this morning. How is it possible? Let me count thy ways, dumbass.
You would think, and I mean, I'm giving them the benefit of the doubt, which is probably my fault. Well, it is my fault for giving them the benefit of the doubt.
Benefit of the doubt.
I'm talking about the celebrities. You know, I'm thinking, all right, maybe. Yeah, I shouldn't do that, should I? I shouldn't.
No,
I shouldn't. You know, you've said this more than once, Ron, that I am simply too nice. That I'm too nice a guy. That I'm full of too much love, and one day the world will crush me. Was that you or my mom who said that?
You're probably your mom.
Okay, that's right. But it's. I want to believe I mean, I was the kid on the stupid front porch hi, people going by. And look what these people have done to me. I have a beard that looks like a tooth with roots. I have no hair on the top of my head. I'm panicked all the time. I work with you. I mean, that's a good thing that I work with you, but
yeah, okay, I work with you. What was the statement that I said right before we started?
I can't believe I'm still doing this effing show.
Yeah, that too.
Or the other one.
After that, it was after that.
Gotcha.
No, better to let people think you're a fool,
right,
than to open your mouth and prove them right.
Exactly.
That should be like the reply to every one of these tweets from dumbasses out there who are like, "Oh, how did this happen?"
It's just stunning. Well, again, it's not stunning. It is just. It's not even amazing. I didn't think Reese Witherspoon was so stupid. Reese Witherspoon's tweet, "And to the families and friends who are grieving, I'm holding you in my heart, and I will never stop advocating for justice." Really, because justice is what happened in the courtroom in Kenosha with Kyle Rittenhouse's trial. That was called justice. A jury of 12 men and women listened
who heard all of the evidence,
with the exception of evidence that the prosecutor apparently withheld from the defense in the form of a high-res video until after the trial. But I mean, don't worry about that injustice. Don't worry about Lunchbox, not knowing how to compress video, et cetera, blah, blah, blah. Worry about whatever you're calling justice. And by the way, the other thing that gets me is the number of people who think that these two scumbags, Rosenbaum and Huber, were black.
Yeah.
Do they not have a phone, computer, anything with a screen that is in color? They're white as the day is long. They're white on rice. And yet somehow Black Lives Matter is, maybe they just didn't know. Maybe Black Lives Matter just heard that the two dead people were black. Maybe they just heard that, and they just ran with it. I mean, it must be what Maria Shriver did. Dumber than a box of potato chips. Not nearly as tasty either. I mean, from what I've heard. So it's again these people. Oh boy, I just saw. Cat Turd just tweeted, Ray's FBI, Christopher Ray's FBI, is involved in Waukesha. Get ready to be lied to. Yeah. Whenever you see the FBI's on the scene, think of them as the cleanup crew.
Yeah.
They're the fixers. They're going to go in there and fix that. So, even though, well, you know what? We arrested Daryl Brooks on, it was a mistake. The real suspect is a white dude, supported Trump and had an AR with him and just wanted to mow down people. That'll be the next narrative. It's a good thing it's a short week, Ron. It's a good thing it's a short week because I'm not sure how much of this I can take this week. By a programming note, by the way, the show this week, the Daily Mojo will air Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. And then on Thursday, I will be over at WBAP.
Yeah, no morning show.
Correct.
Or no live morning show Thursday or Friday.
There'll be
Because
something
Brad's
special.
doing other stuff. Yeah.
Right, I'm busy,
Yeah.
making money. Because somebody has to pay for the damage, to a rat-infested vehicle. And then on Friday, so 2 to 5 on Thursday over at BAP, and then 9 to 11 on Friday on BAP. And
Sitting in for Chris Salcedo. Right?
yeah, and so we'll be doing that, and it'll be all about the being thankful. Which, by the way, I do want to say it because every year about this time, I am uncustomarily sentimental. Is that a good word? It's usually what I'm
uncustomarily sentimental.
Yeah, I mean, I'm usually drunk when I'm thinking it, but
you're thankful.
I am thankful. I'm thankful for every person in this audience, with the exception of that one guy. And
Don't talk about me behind my back.
Right, exactly. I mean, even the a-holes in this audience are okay, except for that one. But we appreciate you being here, and we obviously, if you weren't listening, we would be talking to ourselves, which is what we do most of the rest of the day. So it would be, just another day. But thank you for being here, and thank you for supporting us on this platform. Thank you for supporting Doc Thompson's vision. It's, what do they say? Success in life is directly proportional to your ability to pivot on a moment's notice. And
True.
That's what we've attempted to do the entire way. If you would like to, help out, you can go to mojo50.com. You can make a little donation, whatever. I mean, we don't force you to sit through commercials. Somebody last week when I was doing Rick's show, I can't remember who it was, but one of the somebody tweeted, it's harder to listen to Brad on BAP because there's so many commercials. And I said, they do a little something over here called making money. And it's...
That's the big difference between
it's
the
a
two.
weird thing, and we've discussed that over the years here at Mojo. We're like, do we really want it? Yes. Well, how do we? I don't know. Okay, well then maybe we'll just beg. Okay, but seriously, this if you have a couple of bucks, you don't have to. I know everything is tight these days. I'll wait. Go ahead.
Here, okay. I was just thinking we're using Doc Thompson's plan of attack right now still.
Using a dead person to,
No,
please
we're using his plan of attack. He's the one that developed our program schedule.
You do it for Doc Thompson. I mean, I don't want you to imagine Doc in heaven looking down and going, I can't believe these cheap SOBs are not, throwing a little money toward Mojo's way. He's probably not saying that about you. I mean,
He's probably not.
probably
I started
not.
saying
but
that
it's
was Brad
possible.
Staggs. but
It's
that-
well, I could have
ladies
been
and gentlemen.
channeling him.
Yeah.
So if you donate $25 or more at mojo50.com, we will send you as a gift a handmade in the U.S. of A. Mojo 50 2021 Christmas ornament in the shape of a
Handmade with love in the shape of a snow globe.
not DNA love, but just kind of like my dad when he made me that set of shaker boxes.
Here's the thing that you
glued up ones, he
can
said
be
it's full
guaranteed
love.
of.
Yes,
Ron Phillips has touched every one of
yes.
these ornaments.
Ron enjoys touching the wood, and he has done it in an epic fashion. Right there, Mojo 50. So
I'll
every
get it.
donation over $25 gets one of those at mojo50.com.
The Daily Mojo.
All right, on to the most important people and the audience. Let's see. Rebel Patriot on the Twitter said, "Have y'all seen this?" And I haven't clicked it yet, so I don't know. Harrowing video shows homeless man being torched to death in a stairwell. Hey, happy Monday. That's over at the New York Post. People sometimes truly amaze me. I was watching on, was it yesterday? I got up and watching on Hulu a Diane Sawyer special from, was it 2020 on ABC? It was on the Turpin family. Do you remember them? They were in
the name sounds familiar.
They were in Colorado, or was it California? California thing. And there were the mother and the father, and then 13 kids. 13. And this mother and father are wackadoo crazy, and they had at least 2 of the kids chained up for stealing mom's candy. And the amount of abuse these 13 kids went through, the oldest was 30 years old and had been pulled out of school after, I think, 2nd or 3rd grade.
Really?
And it was she and her younger sister, who was like 18 or 19, when they were finally released in 2018. Jordan, the 19-year-old daughter, she escapes the house, climbs out a window, goes and has somehow obtained a cell phone, finds and calls 911, gets a cop sent to the place, and starts to tell her story to this cop. And she doesn't even have a command of the English language because of her stunted development.
Right.
And the cops go to the house, and one thing leads to another. The parents are now in prison for life, in theory. And the kids were placed in a series of foster homes. And guess what happened to at least a couple of the kids in foster homes? They were abused.
Of course they were.
So, and there were donations in the amount of, I think, $600,000 that a county trustee was supposed to oversee for these kids and didn't. So these kids couldn't get, one of them wanted a bike so he could get around, and they wouldn't let him get a bike. I mean, it's amazing that this Turpin family, if you have a chance, watch the interview with Diane Sawyer, because it's pretty amazing. And these kids, I have no idea. I mean, it's a special kind of evil when you, as a parent, lock or chain your kids to the bed. I can't even. I mean, they're spawn of Satan. There's nothing, and of course, in court they were, we're very sorry and can't believe we did that. Yeah, you can. You're evil. I don't care.
They should. Besides the other punishment of being in jail, they should be subjected to the same kind of shit.
Yeah. Well, they kind of are, being, with the exception of being chained. Although, and these kids were as young as 2, maybe 4 years old, and living in filth. I mean, just truly, and the daughters, one of them
Are you
was
truly
30.
a human being if your heart does not fall apart hearing these stories?
I was
God, dog.
amazed watching this, because this girl, Jordan, no, she's beautiful. She's like 20, 21 years old now. Beautiful. She has slightly strange speech patterns because of her stunted development. But, I mean, just, you'll be amazed. This kid should go out and do motivational tours because she's that amazing. Really, truly is. Speaking of motivational tours, coming up here in a few minutes, we have Jonathan Dunne, who is the host of Freedom's Disciple over at the other place. And we met him on Friday and had lunch with him. Hadn't seen John in a while. He's an amazing guy for an Irishman. I mean, I have to qualify that, you know how the Irish are. But he is an amazing guy too. He's gone through his own hardships, and if you follow him on, I don't know if he's on Twitter. I mean, I mostly communicate with him through text. So yeah, I'm sure he is.
I've seen him on Facebook.
I'm trying. Is it Facebook? Yeah, they all they look alike.
Yeah.
But when you hear he's on a tour in this country for a pretty amazing. We'll talk to him in just a minute because it's a great story. Pickled squirrel, real Brad Staggs. Suddenly the Christmas tree looks that much sturdier. Have mercy. Am I?
What the hell is that?
Am I on drugs? It's like that time that I went out and imbibed during lunch in high school, and then came back as a teacher's assistant, teacher's aide, and was calling roll, and thought, oh my God, I don't get it. I don't understand. They're all staring at me. Richmond Joe, do we have any details on the criminal lives of protesters number 1 and 2 to be shot by Rittenhouse? We all fully understand Rosenbaum's being sent to his great reward was long past due. Well, aside from the convictions and the plea deal of Rosenbaum in Arizona being a pedophile and including anal rape of kids, 5, 6, 7 boys, it's a problem. And the other one, Huber, had strangled his girlfriend and kidnapped, basically held against her will. I mean, these were really, just.
I watched him
Scum.
running around there on video going, shoot me, shoot me.
Oh,
shoot
yeah,
me.
Rosenbaum, shoot me, N-word.
And the second he got shot, he was like, son of a bitch.
Right? Play stupid games, win stupid prizes. More next.
Happily promoting the 4 F's. Freedom.
Like, oh, shit, I didn't really mean it.
Right. I didn't. Oh, you son of a.
Son of a bitch. Ouch.
Right.
Damn.
It has to hurt, too. And the other thing, who was it that said this kid, that Rittenhouse was running around out there without training? I'm sorry, the kid has training.
He has training. There's no question about it.
Uh-huh. It's...
He may not have, stuntman training or whatever the case may be, or, you see Keanu Reeves running around at those gun ranges, but the kid had at least some training. He knew what he was doing.
Oh, yeah. It's the other amazing tweets I saw out there, which, again, I just love pointing them out and asking them to explain, which they never do. Yeah. The one who, said that a skateboard is not a deadly weapon and that Rittenhouse should have run away after the first shooting. It's like, dumbass, he did.
And got chased. Well, all these people making comments are opening their mouth and showing what kind of fool they are.
Truly.
Saying at the same time, have zero understanding of the law. And what's funny is any one of them being put in the same position Kyle was in would have done just the same or worse.
Yeah.
And then looked at people like, what? I didn't do anything wrong. I've got Jonathan.
I got my mojo working, but I just don't know what to do, y'all.
The Daily Mojo.
Beaver73 on the Twitters using the hashtag What I Learned Today. Joseph Rosenbaum, shoot me. Kyle Rittenhouse, as you wish.
As you wish.
Princess Bride. A lot of connections. Have you noticed how many cultural connections there are to Princess Bride? I am Inigo Montoya. You've killed my father. Prepare to die. That's all I can see when I watch Homeland now with Mandy Patinkin. And I did not know that was him. I'd never connected the two before
Much
last
younger.
week. Yeah, much younger. And Laird Leprechaun retweeted CNS News, who, in fact, first tweeted, both the Joint Committee on Taxation and the Liberal Tax Policy Center confirm that 1 out of every 3 middle-class Americans will see a tax hike starting next year. That percentage will grow over time in a significant way. Huh.
Thank you for
It's almost like Biden lied. I mean, I know that sounds crazy, but it's almost like he lied. And by almost, I mean the son of a bitch stood there and lied to us. Which, I know, they all do. And right, Trump, because, border wall and Mexico paying for it. But the thing is, when he said that, my taxes didn't go up.
Yeah.
It may have been a lie, but my taxes didn't go up. Biden gets out there, runs his little pie hole, and taxes go up, and everything falls apart. Now, before I go too far down that rabbit hole, I should stop and welcome our guest, one Jonathan Dunne, the host of Freedom's Disciple over at the Blaze Radio Network. And, John, how are you?
I was good till I got on the phone, and then I heard you just besmirch politicians.
I know, right?
I will have
it's what we do, brother.
I feel the need. I feel the need, in the era of fake news, to correct the record, because I'm Irish, so that means I'm socialist and I love government. Right. A politician has never ever lied.
No,
they just got it wrong. They just misspoke. Okay, get the terminology right.
Isn't that the truth? Isn't that the truth?
Oh, absolutely. And when you said that, I was expecting the next line to come. If you like your doctor, you can keep your doctor.
Right.
It
really is amazing. I mean, they continue to lie to us, and we continue to just. Finally, there's some sort of a revolution going on, which kind of brings us to our point. And how long are you and I knowing each other? It's been a number of years now. I mean,
7, 8 years.
I mean,
too long.
You're much older than I am. It's
clearly. Clearly.
I mean, John is one of the nicest.
I remember when you were in nappies.
Yes, right. And nappies, for those of you in America who don't know what the hell those are, would be diapers.
Diapers, sorry. I'm slowly spreading the socialist agenda in your country.
Thank you. You've been in love and have truly shown your love for this country, the United States of America, from afar, over in Ireland for many years now. I mean, you love America. Do you still feel that way in light of everything that's going on?
Absolutely.
Why?
Because for me, America, as much as I love the country and I love the people, the thing I'm really passionate about and what I work hard on is the idea of America and the principles enshrined in your Declaration of Independence, your Constitution, and your Bill of Rights. That's what I really am passionate about, because they are the reason you became a successful nation. You're the only nation that ever put a set of principles in place that, number one, we're eternal and we're unchanging. So, like, you have a constitution, despite all your flaws, that's over 230 years old. The average constitution in the rest of the world lasts about 17 years, because it's built on man, it's built on popular opinion, it's built on how we feel. When you've heard that in the last couple of days, right? It's all about how we feel.
Right.
Your founder said, no, doesn't matter how we feel, doesn't matter what we think, it matters what we believe is eternally true. What's truths are self-evident. And that's the simple root of the success of your country. And what I'm doing right now is I've invested my life savings of 10 grand. I don't come from money, so 10 grand is a lot of money to me. Yeah. And I'm basically over here talking about reclaiming your narrative. Because quite simply put, America is the best story man ever came together to write. And you need to know why. It wasn't just by fluke. It wasn't by happenstance. There was a set of principles that you followed and that you tried your best to reach. You never really got to reach them and bring them to fulfillment for everyone. But you put in a chart of what you can do. And if you start following those principles again, you have the next great awakening. And that's what my job is to do, is to try and cheer you on.
Do you know that the number of Americans that don't know what you know about our Constitution and our founding documents? Yep. It's really stunning. And for an Irishman, too, Ron, for crying out loud.
Yeah, you can go to any college campus around and ask the questions. They would not know.
No. It's,
no, absolutely.
I love I love, and I've always admired your love for this country, because it really, you are the you're an eternal optimist. Although you and I have both gone through some dark times in our lives, you have you've emerged. I've emerged, and your love for America has not diminished. It continues to, at least to me, to grow. And the way you talk about it, and the way that you know about our founding documents and our founding fathers, should be an inspiration for colleges out there. So, I mean, what do you hope people on this tour? And you're going to how many cities? 14 states, 90 days, 65 presentations.
Yeah. So the original was 65 days, 65 events in 85 days in 15 states. So sadly, I've had to cancel a few of them at the end because I've ran out of money, because your country is really expensive right now. So it's going to be slightly less than that. It's been crazy. But yeah, that was the original plan. But I'll be back in 2022 to finish off the ones I didn't do this year. But I'm just sharing a message of, first of all, I think it's nice, and how I'm lucky is because I speak different, but also I'm sharing a message of, hey, you guys are pretty cool, which is not a popular message in 2021, right? It's like, hey, but also I'm not the kumbaya, because some people do say, oh, John, you're the eternal optimist. You're just like, the world could be burning. You'd be like, oh, that's a pretty flame. No, that's not me. I'm the guy who'll talk to you about the Great Reset. I talk about the Great Reset a lot on my show. I don't know how many people, I don't know many shows like on Fox News or the mainstream media talk about the Great Reset. I talk about all the problems you face. I talk about what's going on in your government. However, I'm the guy who always says, look, these are all the problems. However, here are the solutions. These worked before. Y'all need to start using them again, because they'll work again. And what are the answers to what we talk about? I talk about the Constitution a lot, but quite simply put, what it is a simple question that won the Cold War. If you go back and listen to Reagan's rhetoric, his rhetoric asked one simple question of Gorbachev. He said, Mr. President, I've taken over. I've deregulated the economy. I'm letting people pursue their happiness. I've reduced their tax burden. It's morning in America. You're letting the people, American people, pursue their happiness and live their life again. Mr. Gorbachev, you treat your citizens like second-class citizens. They're not acting out of pursuing their happiness or trying to elevate themselves in society. They're acting out of fear, because if they don't do what you want them to do, they'll be literally banished from society. Mr. Gorbachev, this war boils down to one question. Which side will now innovate the other? Which side will be more creative? A free and prosperous people that's pursuing their happiness and looking for upward mobility, or one that's acting out of fear? And even to show you the power of this simple message, despite voices in your own country, that great Republican, the line of the Senator Ted Kennedy, where he was going, we don't have that rocket, we don't have space missiles, we don't have Star Wars, it's a myth. Gorbachev blinked, because he might have said, yes, they mightn't have it now, and Kennedy's saying they don't have it, but we know the power of a free people. They might just get it one day. And that's simply what won it. And that is the American dream. What we need to do is start getting to a point where we understand, again, what Reagan said. It's amazing what we keep going back to certain people in your history. Government is never the solution. Government is always the problem. And when it comes to your people, I will always back your people, no matter what problem you face. But here's the power of this narrative, right? Because I have friends on the left who are like, the climate change and different stuff. I'm like, okay, I disagree with you on this, because I've studied the planet, and I've studied, the tilt on our axis as gravitational pull. There are times we're going to be closer to the sun. Times we're going to be far away from it. But let's say everything AOC and the squad say is 100% true. We're 500 days or 1,000 days or 100 years, whatever they say now, to climate catastrophe. What is the answer to that? Right. If you take that as a problem, we can agree as that is a problem. What's the answer? Is it government regulations? No. It's your people. It's people like Elon Musk, and I use him as an example. And I always use the stereotypes to my friends on the left who are like climate change. I'm like, think of the typical right-wing Trump supporter who's like, I would bathe in oil if I can. And you put a Tesla in front of them. Do you think they're going to drive that Tesla, or do you think they're going to, I'm not driving that, I'm an oil guy. That car is ugly. No, that car is the coolest car you ever have in the market.
Yeah, it is.
Most people will drive it. And most people, name the right winger who thinks climate change is not going to say, hey, here's a free Tesla. You telling me they're not going to drive that car?
Exactly.
What is the answer there? It's letting people innovate. Don't make it about politics. Elon Musk just says, hey, I believe the environment's going to change. We need to fix it. I'm going to give you the coolest car, but with no propaganda. And people buy that car up as much as they can. The problem is it's too expensive right now for a lot of people.
It is.
But that's going to change when he creates this battery, and he's going to have a Tesla for $30,000. Guarantee you there's going to be a lot of $30,000 Teslas.
But
what is the answer? Your people, not your government.
But the truck, Have you seen the Tesla truck?
Yeah.
Oh!
No, sorry.
But here's the thing. Give him time. Are you telling me that truck is going to be the same truck in about 2 years' time?
Hopefully not. Although it did have a certain Blade Runner feel to it. But no, I agree with you. I would have a Tesla right now if I could afford it. But the strange thing, and I was talking to Ron earlier today about the another one of the unintended consequences of the green movement is causing me to have to rebuild the top end of my engine in my truck because the car manufacturer started using soy-based insulation on wires, because it's green. The problem is rats and other vermin like it, and it's kind of a it's not even a metaphor. It is just indicative of the whole green movement, the unintended consequences, and you have to wonder how far did they think any of this crap through, or is it just, hey, we want more money. We want to extract more money from the pockets of our citizens, get it into government hands, and by the time that we get done with the scam, everybody will be broke. I have no trust in government, but you're right. It's the people. The bottom line, that's what makes this country great, is the people. And government knows that. Government knows that.
Exactly. But also through innovation. So let me give you another example on since we're talking about the Green New Deal. Remember this is an old story from the past, but you covered this as I'm sure I did in the past. Remember Cylinder, where they got all this money from Obama to build up solar panels and stuff? That won't work. Just to show you the power of innovation that I don't think Americans really truly get. So I'm with my fiance yesterday, where I'm spending my first ever Thanksgiving in America.
Congratulations, by the way, on your announced fiance. She obviously has a vision problem, but other than that, she's a smart woman.
As one of our meticulous friends, our mutual friend says, her really, really epically bad decision might just work out for America. So I think we should nominate her for Patriot of the Year.
I like that.
I don't know what the highest civilian honor she can get, but I think she deserves one for putting up with me. But we're doing the traditional thing because she's working today, today up till Wednesday night. So we got to do the Thanksgiving shopping, right?
Right.
We go to Walmart. And in the thing, there's obviously the big boxes for Black Friday's deals, right? There was a 56-inch TV. I don't know what brand it was. It wasn't a recognized brand, but a 56-inch TV for $387.
This is a great thing.
I'm like, that's just absolutely. But why is that a massive thing? Years ago, when the flat screen TV first came out, it was tens of thousands of dollars, and it wasn't 56 inches.
Nope.
The first prototype is not what we judge our base on, or the second, or the third, or the fourth. But literally 10 years later, or 15 years later, you have an average brand that no one has ever heard of doing a 56-inch TV for $387 that everyone can have access to. That's how you innovate. So if you just got the government out of the way of the solar panels or whatever green deal that you want to have happen, and let the free market decide, and let people go, hey, this is $10,000. We need to find a way to make it quicker, faster, better, more reliable, cheaper. The people will do it. It will create all these other companies and other subsidiaries competing for your dollar. That's the simple answer. But our friends on the left are like, no, government has to do it. I'm like, why? And that's the thing, if they truly cared.
It was 250-ish years ago that the Great American Experiment began, and since that time, the rest of the world, the tyrants in the rest of the world have worked pretty much relentlessly to tear this country down. And I will have to give again credit where credit is due. Over especially the past 105-6 years. They have done an amazing job of destroying America from within. And the advantage that they had and still have is that they embedded themselves inside the government and were largely invisible. And so the American people didn't see on a day-to-day basis what the government and its operations were doing to destroy the foundation of the country. That is the one thing that I will say came out of the last 5 years is the fact that the government entities and the evil people behind it inside the government, they showed themselves for who they are. And now, if the American people don't continue to rise up against this tyranny, then it's our fault. Until then, though, we have a fighting chance, I would hope.
No, you do. I think the thing is, as there's always going to be evil in this world. And I think it's always easy to focus on how strong the evil is. For me, the question in the world has never been, is there evil or how strong it is. The question for me is always, what are the people going to do about it? Where's the light? And the truth is, as bad as the left are, the right and the average American has fallen, in my opinion, in that you've forgotten to tell stories. You've forgotten to make the case of why you're an exceptional nation. So here's the thing. I've been doing this event. I've been going around, and I'm talking about American exceptionalism. The biggest compliments I get, and it's said as a compliment, it highlights the problem in your country. People come up to me and kind of go, thanks for coming. It's been a long time since I've heard that message. And I'm like, I'm at Republican and Tea Party and 9/12 and constitutional groups. I'm like, I'm talking about the Constitution. Why is it a long time since you've heard these stories? Why is it a long time since? And then the other thing is I always make it into a fat joke. Is like, I've never seen someone with so much passion. Like, well, the 300 pounds has to go somewhere, boy. It just happens to come out in passion. So that's what I'm filled with. It's not food and junk food and stuff and 7-Up and things. It's passion. I'm just like a big ball of passion. But the thing is, that's the problem. Who's the last great storyteller? I would argue in your country, on our side, it was Ronald Reagan. The truth is, Ronald Reagan's been out of office for 33 years now. Why haven't we had a second one? We need to start having people on our side being the great storytellers, telling the stories of America, telling the stories of, let's get government out of the way, that our history says, guess what? We don't need government. We will fix the problems. Now, let's tell government to get the hell out of our way. But who does that? Who's standing up for it, but also who's doing it in an articulate way? That's what we need to start addressing, because we have the winning message, and we need to start acting accordingly. Because the second thing I've seen from your people, and hopefully I played a bit of a part in changing this, is your people are beaten up, and you're like, oh, we can't, and oh, it's too hard, and oh, we just don't have the energy. I'm like, we have the winning message. If you believe in freedom, our message is the easiest message going. Why? Because we just tell everyone, regardless of your sexuality, regardless of your religion, regardless of your gender, regardless of your race, guess what? You have a God-given right to live, and you have a God-given right to pursue your happiness, and you should have a God-given right to keep the fruits of your own labor if you're successful. That message is simple. There is no clauses to it, whereas they have to say, well, are you white? You don't have the right same pursuit of happiness as you're a minority, or you're gay. Well, you don't have the same. You have more rights than the straight person. And you literally look at the messaging from the left. If you're white and you're straight and you're even Christian or atheist, you don't count. You suck to the left.
Yeah.
We have so many opportunities, but our narratives are horrible, and that's what we need to start working on and saying, listen, you can do anything you want. You have one opportunity in life. Go make of it what you will. And that's the winning message, but we're not sharing it enough.
We're talking with Jonathan Dunne. He is the host of the Freedom's Disciple podcast over at the Blaze. He's also on a tour of the states here, the United-ish States of America, 14 states over the next 90 days, 65 presentations. Where are you headed to next?
I'm actually officially done.
Oh, are you done?
So I'm I'm done. Done is done.
I thought for some reason I thought you for some reason had when we talked on Friday. I only half listened. When we talked on Friday, you said you had a couple more.
You half listened?
Not even that, really.
You half listened?
I was there. I ate the food. You paid. I ate the food, and I just pretended to nod every now and then when I saw you stop talking. But I mean. You need next time. I
was supposed to be in Pennsylvania next week, but sadly I had to postpone that because for 3 days in Pennsylvania for flights, car hire. To show you how expensive it is, 3 days in Pennsylvania after Thanksgiving, flying out Tuesday, flying back Friday, for flights, accommodation, and car hire was over $1,100.
Wow,
that's not including tolls, food, and fuel.
You need a sponsor. Yes. You need a sponsor, and we'd love to do it, but we don't have any money either. So good luck. You are the poster boy for immigration reform. You have been trying to get into this country. You've been trying to become a citizen for a long time. How long is it?
Next year would be 18 years.
18 freaking years.
18.
And That's what really bothers me. Is I have other friends who, one particular in Nashville, she married a guy from Italy. It took them years for him to become a citizen, and yet we have these scumbags in some cases coming across the southern border. A lot of them are just people trying to find a better life. I get it. I've been down there, but the floodgate is open, and we can't find people. We can't find a way to somehow reform the immigration system to make it easier, and not even easier, more negotiable, I guess, is the word I'm looking for, because it's onerous beyond belief.
Yes.
And they don't want to fix it because and I'm talking about both sides, Republicans and Democrats. They don't want it fixed because they're both using the immigration as a tool. But you, a person who loves this country, has taken 18 years, and hopefully there's light at the end of the tunnel, right?
Oh, absolutely. So just to show you back onto narrative before I give you the good news on that. So on the narrative, right, what average American, and even think of our friends on the left, would say, look, I get you like some type of, illegals and you don't mind them so much crossing the border. But how is the following scenario fair? We have COVID. Our border is wide open and you have all these hundreds of thousands of people coming across. You have an Irish guy living in Ireland. He's only coming to visit. He's only going to stay 90 days. He's not going to work. He's not going to take anything from the economy. In fact, by his very presence in the country, he's actually going to add some type of jobs because he's going to spend 10 grand of his own money. However, to get here legally for his vacation to do this tour, he has to go to Turkey for 15 days to isolate to then come into the country. By the way, to do that, to go to Turkey to isolate, cost him $2,500. He would have preferred to spend that $2,500 in this country. How is that fair?
Yeah.
What average Democrat's going to look at that system and kind of go, yeah, that's totally right. I'm totally down with those rules. If we share those simple narratives, you'd be surprised at how much inroads we can make. However, back onto me, the amazing thing about this tour is this tour for me was going all in. This is my 5th speaking tour. I've done a lot for your country. I do everything as a volunteer, and this is me kind of going, okay, all my life savings, either I go back to Ireland and I basically starve, which will take a long time, or something's got to give. Well, this tour has been amazing for so many reasons, but not chief among them. Not only in 2022 because I've met a beautiful lady and she's taken one for the team. In 2022, I get my American dream, but I also get the dream girl, only in America. So I'm so blessed.
John, I love you. You are an amazing human being, and you have often been a source of inspiration for me, and we've leaned on each other, and I love that. And it's, again, I'm just, in a rare moment of thankfulness, I'm thankful that you're out there and spreading this message because it needs to be done. And I see what I did there. Do you see what I did there? It needs to be. Oh my gosh! You need to trademark. It needs to be done. You're welcome. You want to send folks to freedomsdisciple.com? Is that where you want people to go to more information on you and other stuff?
Yes, but that website's kind of been going through a bit of reformation, so it's not up to date. But if you go to social media, Facebook or Twitter and Freedom's Disciple, or you look up anywhere you can get podcasts, you can follow me. I've just done 2 big specials on my show the last couple of weeks. One was the Battle Plan to Save America, and then last Saturday was the Battle Plan to Save Your Financial Future, because you are doing certain things that are not exactly positive as people, and there's bad times coming. Even though the guy who's Mr. Eternal Optimist is saying there's bad times coming, how do you prepare? How do you solve it? So if you want to check out those 2 specials, they're free to listen to. And just that's my job. And my job is to give you a pep up. And if you're ever down in America, look me up and, say, hey, I'm really unhappy about America. And I talk to people and give people a free pep talk going, yes, times are bad, but you know what? You have your answers if you follow your founding principles. But also, if I can just share one other thing.
Sure.
This enemy is not powerful. This is the biggest lie I've heard on this tour. John, this enemy is so powerful. If you understand your history and you understand what you've overcome, this enemy is really weak. I've been calling this enemy what it is. This enemy is the Wizard of Oz. If you know that story, that is literally what you're facing right now. It looks big. It looks powerful. It even sounds powerful. I am the great and powerful Oz. Oh, fear me. And it's all a show. And then if you understand that movie, and you should go back and watch it because it's an amazing movie, of looking how fear it is. I'm the lion without the courage, and I'm the tin man without the heart. What could I ever do to solve this? How could I ever take on Oz? And then you look behind the curtain at the end, and it's a little timid old man. Who does that represent in America in 2021? This enemy is not Hitler. This enemy is not Gorbachev. This enemy is not even Vietnam, Korea. This is nothing. Stalin. This enemy is old, it's weak, and it's timid. And it needs you to believe you can't do anything. And if the American people rise up together and go, yes, we can, and yes, we will, you win.
Amazing. Jonathan Dunne, again, Freedom's Disciple podcast, and truly an inspiring human being, even though he is Irish. And I love you for it. Be well out there, and we'll talk again soon, my friend.
Absolutely, and happy Thanksgiving to y'all. And it was great seeing you last week.
The Daily Mojo.
Whatever.
He's a good dude. I've only met him in person that one time. We all had dinner together.
Right.
What
He's
a good dude.
You can hear his love for this country in his voice. He makes me smile every time I talk to him or hear him. He just makes me smile. And who doesn't? Want to smile? Somebody says 1, 2, 3.
1, 2, 3.
It's the turd. It's the turdy turd.
Dirty turd.
I love accents. I really do. And people see over on the Twitters here. F in Florida, man. And if you weren't already depressed during this time of year with less sunlight and holidays, we now go to Real Brad Staggs for an uplifting story of family, love, and happiness. That was last half hour. See, I made up for it in this half hour. Actually, John did, but that's
you did well.
Just me. Postal Pete, I have spare bedrooms in Pennsylvania if Jonathan wants to reconsider. That is, wow. And I'm an Irishman and a postal worker. Walk into a bar. No, Pete, that is very, very nice. And don't forget to listen to Peter Seraphin's daily dose of liberty. I don't think I retweeted it this morning. But if you're not following Postal Pete, make sure you follow Postal Pete on social media. P. Seraphin, Serefine, over on the Twitters. The other thing you need to do, and I think that it needs to be done. I mean, come on. I should trademark that and then sell it to them because this is capitalism.
It needs to be done.
It needs to be done. Go to preparewithmojo50.com. That is where you can be, whether it's good or bad times coming to us, you need to be prepared either way. And this is where you can get your stockpile of emergency food because, fat people are going to need, like me and Ron and John.
That's right.
I don't think I've ever missed a meal. As a matter of fact, I may have gone to some extra ones. But when the apocalypse actually does hit because I think things are going to get worse before they get better. I do. And you just need to be ready. And that's all I'm going to say. My Patriot Supply obviously is the company behind our emergency food supply. You go to them through preparewithmojo50.com and just be prepared for whatever the hell is coming on the horizon. Good times are ahead. I hope. Dr. Mojo Martian, he sounds like a leprechaun. Of course, he makes you smile. Yeah. Faith in Big Order. Did we find him living under a toadstool? Is that where leprechauns live under?
Maybe.
Or mushrooms? One of the
Mushroom.
two.
Mushroom.
The one that doesn't kill you.
Leprechauns on mushrooms.
Daily Mojo continues next. Do they live under They live under toadstools.
Mushroom. Is it? Toadstool?
Yeah. Because where do leprechauns live? Leprechauns. Little many humans go hunting and trapping expedition, understand yada yada. They don't actually live at the end of rainbows. They only hide and guard their pots of gold there. Leprechauns often live in dismal and lonely places. Any secluded spot where humans rarely tread is an ideal location for a leprechaun's domestic bliss. They prefer isolation, are very private and solitary creatures. Common habitats. Leprechauns frequent any wild, overgrown place where humans will not roam. And, mushroom patches.
Mushroom. That's what
you were right. I hate to say that, but you were right. They also live in shamrock fields or patches.
Yeah.
They also live in hollowed oak or hawthorn tree trunks, or in glens, or fairy forts. I went to a fairy fort once.
A fairy fort?
It was fabulous. Come on. Sometimes they just write themselves. Who was it? Twitter that was just saying it was Rush Hour. Jackie Chan on USA Network, and they had put a trigger warning before it.
I saw that.
And people are going, well, it's not that bad. You can fast forward past. You people. You people.
Yeah, why do you have to tell us that it might affect somebody's feelings? Why
Right.
don't you just not let it not affect your feelings?
Right.
Cowboy Logic this half hour?
Yes.
Okay.
Going to do it, yeah, because Mish is at the,
bottom.
yes. I don't know if I put it that way. See you.
Dude, I got a stack of orders this weekend.
Yeah?
Cut this weekend.
That's good.
It was fantastic. It was our best show that we've ever done. This was probably better than all the other ones combined.
Really?
Yeah. And we don't know why. I mean, it was just.
Did you shower beforehand?
Yeah, I did.
There you go. I mean, I think it was because you showered.
Listen up, all you parents who are even considering vaccinating your
It's a guy.
children with these mRNA gene therapy injections. Why don't you check out this little document from Pfizer where it shows you that they made a special formulation for your child's vaccine. They added a special medication to it that they use to stabilize heart attack victims because they know that your children are going to get myocarditis, pericarditis, and their heart is going to be destroyed, and you're going to kill your friggin' children. Look at page 14 of the FDA document right after they requested the emergency use authorization, not an approval.
God,
the
this guy.
What?
This guy. What?
What?
I don't know. I just, it just, why do people think that they have to be the doctor for everybody?
Well, I had never heard of whatever that ingredient is.
Senate. And until tomorrow, protect your liberties. Once they're gone, there's no getting them back.
If we weren't so bad,
To puppy rape.
I like to cuss.
Do I want to keep my penis?
Cat wants some black titties. We wouldn't be so good. Mojo 50. The mothership has landed.
See, Dr. Mojo Martian says they're often found eating a bowl of Lucky Charms. They're magically delicious. They don't have that. Does Lucky Charms still have the little dude?
I don't know.
I bet they don't. Because that would be like cultural appropriation, right? I mean, you can't appropriate the culture of leprechauns. Can you? See, Rebel Patriot says, son of a gun, I'm a leprechaun and didn't know it.
Yeah, they still have the little dude.
Do they? Does he talk and stuff?
I don't know if he talks or not.
Green
but
clovers, purple hearts, yellow swords, green bombs. That's Crystal late at night. Wisconsin Jackhole, aren't toadstools mushrooms? No. Mushrooms are edible. Toadstools are not, I think.
Oh.
I'm not a botanist, what do you call, is that person who works with plants? I mean, I know, but I'm just asking you around to see if you know. You know, botanist, right? I'm not
difference
a garden person.
between toadstools and mushrooms.
Right. It's one of them will kill you and one of them won't.
5 steps for distinguishing edible mushrooms.
We'll go into that later. There is a dude, plenty of outrage on Twitter. We were just listening to this guy prior to coming back. And I don't know what this guy's background is. As Ron said, I don't know why people have to think that they are doctors for everybody, but...
Listen up, all you parents who are even considering vaccinating your children with these mRNA gene therapy injections, why don't you check out this little document from Pfizer where it shows you that they made a special formulation for your child's vaccine. They added a special medication to it that they use to stabilize heart attack victims.
All right, I'll retweet that. I think I may have already done it, but he's referring to tromethamine. And apparently it is used to treat heart disorders if it is in fact in the Pfizer vaccine.
Yeah.
Why? Just curious. I do also wonder, though, Ron, and this, why do they, I don't know if he feels like he's being the doctor for everyone or that he's trying to share a piece of information that he learned. I mean, there's a lot of arguments either way. What I don't get, is he not sitting there like without a shirt on?
I don't see the video.
Oh, you don't see? I think he's, that's the part I don't get. Now, maybe he's wearing a skin-colored shirt, but otherwise it's a dude with a neck tat and no shirt. All I'm saying is that you may have more cred if, to put a shirt on. It's not that tough. I mean, I do it most days. It's just kind of strange. Pfizer makes a special formula vaccine especially for children so they're not seriously affected. The respiratory illness known as the China virus. Here's the interesting thing. According to the Jonas Salk Institute, it is a vascular virus. It's a vascular disease.
Really?
Yes. If you go to the Salk Institute, just Google COVID-19 Salk Institute vascular. And you'll find we all think of it as a respiratory disease, but it's a vascular disease. Which, how many in the mainstream media have said that? Am I right? We're being fed so much misinformation that, hold on, I just saw this disclosed TV just in White House to nominate Federal Reserve Chairman Powell for a second term. For a second, I was thinking of Colin Powell. I thought, wait, didn't he die? But we're fed so much misinformation, and we're constantly being lied to by the government that more and more people are hopefully sitting up and realizing that they can't trust a damn thing, and they're doing their own research. And isn't it funny how the left now has started to condemn research? You have to say, oh yeah, research is, do your
own research, but don't listen to research.
And you're just sitting in there on your phone Googling stuff. Oh, or you're just going to the library looking stuff up. Okay, dumbass. If I was going to find current information, would I look online or go to a library? Where the books are. I would.
Here's the thing. Everybody bitches about you doing your own research, but if I'm not mistaken, over the last year and a half, I've seen more highly educated doctors, nurses, scientists, all be called quacks.
Right.
Because they disagree with the government's position on something.
Isn't that amazing?
Were they not educated at a level equivalent or better than the idiots up there who are trying to force an agenda? Were they not? And why can't I listen to my doctor if my doctor says, here, I want you to take this Ivermectin, and here's a prescription for it? What pharmacist can then go, oh, no, I'm not feeling that?
Isn't it weird?
Who the hell are you?
Isn't it weird? The whole thing is just bizarre.
It's odd. How can you discredit all of these people with this knowledge? Who do we listen to?
I think more and more people are awakening to that fact. I hope. But we'll see if we do it in time. Other than that, Mrs. Lincoln, how did you enjoy the play? You had a good weekend. You had a very good weekend.
We had a good weekend. Yeah, thank you for.
You went out, you showered, you got out, you got amongst the unwashed masses. You survived.
Yeah. We did another farmers market. What we call it is right in the old town part of our town here, but they set up and there's probably about 60 or 70 different booths. So we set up Romika Designs and we were fortunate enough to sit right next to Wayfinder Lures and Majestic Oasis, which are Rocky Stucci's family's setup. So we combined. We did fantastic this time. Romika Designs did a probably better on this particular pass than we did combined with the others. And we don't know why. Maybe it's because it's getting closer to Christmas, or we had more ornaments or something like that. But
what was the best seller? We got most attention.
The earrings, the little wooden earrings. Believe it or not, I mean,
women will spend money on their weirdest stuff,
dude. And we put them out like right outside the booth on a table, so when people are walking by, they can't help but stop and dig through them,
right?
Because we have, I mean, we had everywhere from Christmas, and they're little round wooden, and some of them are in different shapes, but mostly round, rectangle, whatever, wooden engraved earring studs, Harry Potter, Christmas. And just various different kinds.
And you were able to get the micro cameras into the earrings, right? So
correct, yeah.
Good. We won't say that part of the year.
And Christmas ornaments, those were the big thing too. I mean, we knew that going into Thanksgiving, Christmas ornaments were going to be the big thing.
Did you have to do research to find that out, or
no, not really. I mean, Misty and I have been in retail for before. So
I heard that turkeys are selling well this time.
If you're not preparing for Christmas by July the 15th, you're screwed.
Right, so it's romikadesigns.com, and how soon? And this could be a gift for a person. Well, I mean, buy it for yourself or buy it for somebody else. How close are we getting to the deadline where people will?
We will probably stop trying to push for Christmas around December 10th to 15th.
All right.
Because we actually leave on December 18th, so we'll probably take our last orders for Christmas around December 15th.
All right, there you go. romikadesigns.com.
What is that?
I think those are the.
Oh, there it is.
Could it be that time? Could it be
is.
that time? All right, it's 10 minutes behind the barn with Donna Fiducia, Don Ewan from Cowboy Logic, which of course airs here on Mojo 50. Ron,
every Tuesday at noon and 11 p.m.
Very good, very good. I like to test out your mental capabilities. We're worried about you like Biden sometimes.
Yes.
Donna, how are you?
Hey, doing great. How the hell are you?
I mean, as far, the world's on fire and the enemy's at the gate. But other than that, I think things are great.
Only hundreds of thousands of people rioting the streets in Australia.
Thanks for asking, Brad.
Right, exactly. That's,
I'm doing great. How you doing, buddy?
He's radio puking.
Yeah, behind the gated complex here at the Desert Air Motel, we don't have to worry about it because we have APGs and a lot of armed guards. But for the unwashed out there, it's a scary world. So what do we need to be watching for in the coming week? I mean, it's a short week, so does that mean we're going to get lulled into a false sense of security?
I hope not.
Quite honestly, I think that was very insensitive a comment there, Brad, because the first thing that ran into my mind when you said short week was short people, midgets.
That would be Fauci.
And that was that. I just felt like it was a bit insensitive.
That was Anthony Fauci.
But
I haven't completed my sensitivity training yet. All right, we'll just we'll pretend I didn't say it.
Dude, that's insensitive. Do that.
Oh,
Michael
it's insensitive.
Michael Jackson.
That's insensitive.
Very insensitive. Anyhow, this week I think it's going to be a cluster. You know what at the airport?
Yep. And the thing
that's why
is,
Donna and I are walking to New Jersey.
No, we're not, but we are going to take the car because I refuse to fly anymore. It's getting to the point. And you're starting to get some stories which we haven't verified completely, but we're working on it. And there are some, minor stories of people saying something's wrong with my pilot and this and that. That's kind of scary because we are starting to see fallout from how the vaccines are not working, and more are not working than are. And more people who are vaccinated are getting sick as opposed to those who are not. So that creates a problem for grandma as you go over the river and through the woods.
Brad, you heard about accidents?
About what? Vaccident? No, I have not.
Accidents. Okay. You want to know about it?
Yes, I would love to. I love anything you say.
Oh,
so
man.
You big suck up.
Whatever it takes, pal. Whatever it
She
takes.
loves everything you said.
Here's what the term vaccidents refers to.
All right.
You know, these vaccines are causing all types of physical problems, from blood clots to strokes to neurological problems. And I think that we are going to see an increase in accidents that are directly related to those that have taken the inoculation. And we're going to call those vaccidents. And you're going to see them in workplace. You're going to see them in everyday travel. Traffic accidents right now are up, what, 16 to 18%?
Despite the fact that less people are driving. That's what's really scary. Less people
That is
are driving,
terrifying.
accidents are up. You know,
And-
and that's the whole thing. Go ahead.
Before, I was just going to say, you mentioned this a couple minutes ago, but you, again, I love everything you say too, Donna. I thought I was the only person who would not get on an airplane right now because of the whole mask thing. I can't do it. For an hour, for 2 hours, 3 hours, whatever, I refuse to get on and play the theater. Right.
These poor kids that have to wear a mask all day, that they don't even carry the damn virus. They have a 99.999% chance of surviving it. And we're making these poor little kids be mentally, you know, screwed up for the rest of their lives because they're afraid that to even breathe free air.
I got to tell you a funny story. I got to
All right.
tell you a funny story, guys. Okay. True story. This happened last week. The guy that owns Star Coaches, that has the Real America's Voice boss, Danny Hamilton, flew home from Phoenix, Arizona to Atlanta last week. He was out on the road with Real America's Voice. He gets on a plane. It's the first time he's been on a plane since pre-COVID. So they're making him wear his mask constantly. The dude that he's sitting next to didn't wear his mask the entire flight. How did he do it? He kept ordering Bloody Marys. He went through 4 Bloody Marys on the flight between Phoenix and Atlanta to the point where they ran out of vodka. And so when they did that, he goes, I just want some water. So he kept ordering water. He was able to keep his mask off in his seat on the flight, the entire flight, because he constantly was drinking a beverage.
Yeah, but you know, the other way you don't have to wear a mask is be illegal. Because Victor Avila was actually on, he was on a plane. And as a former ICE agent, he said this was driving him nuts. He could tell that these were illegals. The kids were jumping around. They weren't even wearing seatbelts, let alone having documentation. And none of them wore masks. And you know they're not vaccinated, and you know they're not checked, which is really scary.
And credit where credit is due. Credit to the guy who kept ordering drinks. He found a hack and he exploited it, and I give him full credit for that. Now, I thought that they would harass you even if you were drinking, that they'd say, you know, between drinks, you got to, but I guess if you time it right and you're always got the cup up to your mouth when the stewardess walks by, flight attendant. I did not mean to be sexist. I'm full of insensitivity and sexism today.
Really? What about midget stewardesses?
I've actually got a monthly subscription to that website, and edit that part out, Ron. We don't need everybody to know about my midget.
They just wear hats that have trays on them, so that when they walk down the aisle, you just put your little cup on their hat.
So racist. Is that racist? Is that insensitive? What is that?
Racist?
Wow, that is
racist.
That's a good question.
What would you call it? Prejudice.
No, it's not.
You're prejudiced against short people.
Short people hold a very special place in my heart too.
Short people got no reason to live.
Another song you couldn't do now.
My rock and roll roots come back every once in a while. Hey,
I think
we are
we'll
going to
play
have
that
MTG
tomorrow.
On. We are going to have
All right.
MTG on.
And that'll be tomorrow. That'll be tomorrow because today's Monday, of course, and tomorrow at 11 a.m., as Ron said at the beginning here.
Central, yes.
Yeah, exactly, 11 a.m. Central. Of course, will be Cowboy Logic here on Mojo 50. So anything that you can kind of tip us off about she may be, dropping tomorrow?
Yep.
All right.
She thought Ron was hot.
She did wave at me through the camera, though.
She told me that. It was in my in-ear.
She did wave at me through the camera. I was.
Ron has that effect.
She thought Phillips was hot.
She's a badass, isn't she?
Ron has that effect on nearsighted women.
That is a fact.
And midgets with tray tables on their heads.
Right, exactly. At some point, I'll have to fill you in on our visit to the SHOT Show with Doc Thompson and his love of midgets. there was there are a few photographs that I'll just send them to you. You can laugh amongst yourselves. All right, so back to the whole plane and flying crap. TSA this week supposedly only 60% vaxxed. What are you seeing? I mean, seriously, this is going to be like you said, a giant fustercluck at the airports with, I guess, a lowered TSA staff, although they'll never admit it. I mean,
this is just the new normal.
It's going to be slower than normal.
This is what they always want us. They want us to suffer. I mean, the gas prices go up $1 a gallon in recent months. And what does Jen Psaki say? Instead of saying, oh, well, maybe we should open up the market and maybe we should, possibly do a little better as far as producing oil and gas here. No, we got to shut everything down more so and double down. She actually said double our efforts for wind and solar. Gee, that's going to do you a lot of good a month or two from now when you're freezing your butt off in your house because you can't get anything to heat your house. I mean, this is unbelievable how out of control these people are. And I think the flying is just part of it. However,
they're getting away with it. That's true. That's so true.
With the hundreds of millions of dollars he's going to get by suing MSNBC.
It'll be the Nick Sandman and Kyle Rittenhouse network over at CNN.
That's right.
The store shelves are half empty. I mean, we've seen those stories. Gas prices through the roof. It's a pain in the ass to travel. If the people who are on the side of this whack job tyrannical administration at this point don't see what's going on or are okay with it, I mean, they either need serious psychological counseling or a good whooping behind the barn.
No,
they don't care.
Yeah, they don't
Brad,
care.
they don't care. This is by design. They want this.
Yeah.
Period.
See, it still boggles my mind. Having grown up when I did in the 70s and 80s, it's not the same country anymore, and it really.
Nope.
I'm slow to anger, and Ron will tell you this. I'm patient. I'm kind. I'm giving. I'm Ron. What else am I? I'm a bunch of stuff.
You are a bunch of stuff.
Well, I'm damn Ron told me.
Oh no, he's a bunch of stuff.
Against the wall.
Yeah.
Well, yes, exactly. Until you start trying to take away my country, and then I get pissed off, and everybody's going to have to really ratchet up the being pissed off part because they're not slowing down this agenda at all.
And what about this Treasury nominee that wants to take your bank accounts? That'll really maybe wake up the sleeping giant a little bit, let alone the fact that 80,000 IRS agents are hired, but not one border security guard. What do you think's going to happen there when you get audited, folks?
Right. Yeah, exactly. It's just, this has been a very enlightening and uplifting conversation as usual.
Oh, I'm sure.
But you know what? It's the state of the country, so somebody has to talk about it. Might as well be us. Again, it's Donna Fiducia, Don Newen, Cowboy Logic, again airing tomorrow, 11 a.m. Central Time on Mojo 50. And we'll see you, I guess, behind the barn again next week.
See you later, brother.
Right by the manure pile. Thanks, Brad.
Right by the manure pile. That's a good place to meet.
Yep.
You don't have to have directions. You just have to follow your sense of smell. So... again, I guess we'll have a visit with them next week because I keep forgetting this is Thanksgiving weekend coming up. Time has flown. Do you remember when it was like 6 months until Christmas?
Yeah, because we were trying to count the days back in there.
And now it's not.
Now it's not. It's less than 30, right?
No, because today's the 22nd, so it's like 30,
so
what,
32,
3?
Yeah.
If you haven't yet chosen a delightful gift and this is the best thing about American Pride Roasters, if they are a true coffee lover, if they, enjoy a great cup of coffee, I guess it's not for everybody because there are some people out there who just like nasty, bad coffee. And strangely, it's a lot of radio people. Because, radio people will go to the kitchen or the break room and the coffee is nasty. I don't think I've ever been at a radio station where the coffee was good until Mojo 50. Actually, until the other place because Doc would often have American Pride Roasters, right there, cold brewed in the refrigerator.
Right.
So this is for everybody except people in radio who are used to crappy coffee. this is for everybody else. American Pride Roasters has a Christmas gift basket, and it's just in time for Christmas. That's great. I mean, that's called thinking ahead, planning ahead. So you get an 8-ounce bag of the First Christmas, an 8-ounce bag of the Washington, or any other flavor you desire, a bag of the Fabuloso coffee drops, and a coffee mug. And if you just go to AmericanPrideRoasters.com, you'll see it there at the front page. And again, shipping this year is going to be a weird thing because shipping has just been all over the place. And I'm not even talking about price. I'm talking about, hey, when will it get there? Sometime before 2030. And even the post office, didn't they suspend what is the overnight shipping? It's not priority, it's the other one. And they're like, yeah, we can't guarantee it's going to get there when we say it's going to get there. Good luck.
Yeah, I mean, Amazon stopped guaranteeing their 2-day shipping or whatever it is.
I remember the first time that happened to me, and it was, hey, it's going to be there tomorrow by 8, and then it wasn't.
And then they texted you and go, oh,
yeah, we lied.
We're not going to make it.
Nope. Nope, not going to be. It's going to be before Wednesday.
Were you not devastated? I know
yes.
I was.
I was, and I was like, oh, this is the end of the dream.
Shit.
But now I've gotten used to it now. And I've just lowered expectations. So get your order in soon for American Pride Roasters and the Coffee Lover on your list. All gift basket orders will ship around or just before December 15th to ensure delivery by Christmas. And, DM's a good guy. Yep. He will do everything in his power. He got the power. Sorry. AmericanPrideRoasters.com. Effin' Florida Man, what does Jackhole Nation have to do to get Real Ron Phillips to play a Doc Thompson replay on Friday morning? What's wrong with Thursday morning?
Yeah.
It's not going to be me either way. Let's see. Rusty Shackelford. Brad hasn't taken the sensitivity training because it's in Doc's backpack right next to those numbers on procrastination. Absolutely possible. I had a friend over in Knoxville. Sadly, he has passed away as well. But he was, he ends every show here. That is a wrap. Stanley. And he and his brothers were just notoriously not politically correct. And every time they'd have a sensitivity training, one of the brothers would go in, take the sensitivity training, and then there was like a little quiz at the end. He'd just come out and give the answers to the other one. So the most un-PC people in the building would just absolutely nail the quiz and get high sensitivity scores. Credit where credit is due. I miss that guy.
Yep.
Your Daily Mojo next with some Bitco info and Mish.
A free exchange of ideas.
Clear.
Did I say Bitco?
Bitco info. Oh, God, Mish.
It would be Bitcoin. Hey, Mish.
Hello, dear.
How are you? It's been a while.
It has been a while. I'm good. I'm good. Getting ready for the big tea day.
I didn't say anything offensive to you last time, did I? That made you not want to be around. Or did I?
I have nothing to do with the booking.
You are always, you have my number. You can always, if you ever need to get in touch, you know where to find me. Anytime.
And vice versa.
Thank you. If I had any money, I would. You'd be the first person I'd call. All right, hang on about a minute and we'll be right back.
Okay.
Never give up, never surrender. Where is it? Where in the... indeed. The CEO of BioNTech, Ugur Sahin, has announced over the weekend that people will need to get a COVID-19 vaccination jab once a year. In an interview with Germany's Bild newspaper, he said that he considers the vaccine to be very effective, and you'll need it every year. That's apparently how effective it's going to be. Remember, they're only making, what, $65,000 a minute, Ron?
Oh, yeah.
I mean,
Easy.
How do you get by just making $65,000 a minute? Now, I don't know about you, but that's like just above poverty, for me. I don't know about you. And the TSA is saying that they are going to be experiencing some delays. If you end up going to the airport or trying to travel, I guess just about anywhere the TSA is, let us know, because they have a vaccination rate, they say, of just over 60%. So 40% in theory of TSA agents will not be working today and going forward into this, the busiest travel week of the year, isn't it? Yeah, it used to be.
Yeah, I think so.
All the rules have been rewritten, so
yeah,
who the
but
hell
this
knows?
is a weird thing too. I mean, I don't know. I think Thanksgiving last year was the big travel because everybody was ready to get the hell out of their houses.
Right, yeah. But did you know last year, 2020, even though there were fewer people on the road, that accidents went up?
No,
weird. Because you heard Don and Donna mention that.
Yeah,
The
yeah.
traffic fatalities went up and traffic accidents actually went up in 2020. Who knew?
Yeah.
On the line, it is our favorite guru of crypto and all things money, Mish Schnieder from MarketGauge.com. It's been a while, Mish. Are you sure I didn't offend you last time we spoke?
Not possible.
Oh, yes, it is. Don't give me a challenge like that. Well, it's good to talk to you again, and you've got some pretty interesting news, exciting news that is coming to Market Gauge with regard to crypto. Am I right?
Yes, you are right. We actually started a product called Crypto Pulse, and it's a quant-based product, which means that we use algorithms based on our trend strength indicators trading the large cap coins, so like Solana and Polkadot and Bitcoin and Litecoin, and we do it all for you. So the model has done unbelievably well. Year to date is up 424%.
Wow.
We send the alerts out. We give you a live coaching every month. It's great if you are brand new and not sure what to do, or even if you're a veteran, because we also are famously known for our risk control. That's really our big thing, is to be able to control the risk and at the same time let you know when it's time to take profit.
I think that's the biggest thing that for people who have heard about cryptocurrency and Bitcoin, et cetera, but it's scary because as you and I have talked before, it's an investment that you can't touch, see, taste, hear, feel, which I guess is the same with a lot of stocks that you buy, unless you get a stock certificate. But with, crypto, it's an app on your phone, and you see things, you see numbers changing all the time. So it can be a little terrifying for people who aren't used to that sort of thing. So this is this is like revolutionary for y'all in the crypto market, which is booming, by the way, is it not?
Absolutely. I mean, if you just look at last week alone, even though Bitcoin has come off from the highs, it's holding a key moving average. And then you have to kind of know where do you go, because Solana sold off and then had a big move up. So that's exactly what we do, is we follow the trend. And the trend is not going away. I think what will happen down the road is, as you get more and more competitive coins, things come up that are interesting for different reasons. And so if you're aware of that, you can make money. For example, when the Clippers arena changed to crypto.com, there was a symbol CRO, C-R-O, and that went up like 30% last week. So it's an ever-changing space. Big announcement today, of course, was El Salvador creating
Yes.
Bitcoin City.
What is a Bitcoin city?
So basically, everything in the city eventually will be driven by blockchain technology. And their goal is to be able to have everything transacted within Bitcoin as far as currency, banking, bonds, etc. Now, the reality is not necessarily meeting up with the hype, because so far only 2.5% of the transactions in El Salvador are being done in Bitcoin. The rest is still the dollar. But this is apparently the way they're going, and they're trying to be really innovative in terms of creating a future.
And who would have thunk it would be El Salvador that would, I mean, of all of the countries on the face of the planet, you would not have chosen El Salvador as the country that would try to create, a crypto city. So Bitcoin, again, in the news, it had what they are calling a big crash last week, although I don't necessarily call it a crash when it's, I mean, I guess in terms of percentages, is there like a technical definition of crash?
Well, it's down 18% from the high. So I guess if you want to use a term that's going to make you pay attention and get scared, you'd use the word crash. But you also, I think the last time you and I talked, it was still trading under 45,000.
Yes. Yeah.
So now it's trading 58,000.
Right.
I mean, you have to have perspective. If you look at the beginning of the year, it was trading at 25,000. So we've more than doubled.
Right.
So this is where if you listen to people in the media, you can get your head all messed up because they tend to use language so that you'll tune in. But the reality of the situation is it has every time made a new high, gone through a period of liquidation. But the whales, as they call them, keep buying on the way down. It's holding, like I said, 56,000 is the 50-day moving average. And as far as we're concerned, there is a whole model that has been created to really be able to assess what's going on with the cryptocurrency, and that shows stock to cash flow. And I'm sorry if I have that absolutely wrong, but the point of it is
it's too early to start drinking on a Monday, by the way.
The point, really, the bigger point is not what it's called, but what it's showing is that based on cash flow into cryptocurrency and Bitcoin, it projects that it will be trading at 80,000 by the end of the year. Whether or not that's going to happen, but that's really where we're standing at this point. We're still very, very bullish, and we think these dips, whether you want to call them crashes or dips, are still really good buy opportunities.
Talking with Mish over at marketgauge.com. Ron, what was it I predicted that Bitcoin would be at by the end of the year?
70 or 80. I don't remember.
75 to 100,000.
Yeah.
And who did you say? Is your prediction 80 grand by the end of the year, Mish, or is it who were you quoting there?
Yes.
Oh, yours.
It's 80.
Okay, so
yeah,
you and I.
Yeah.
I mean,
we're
even though I have no money, I'm pretty good at guessing sometimes. So I may be right or I may be wrong. The other thing that you mentioned that I thought I'd mentioned last week, but I didn't, is the fact that Staples Arena, this is pretty big news. Staples Arena, home of the Lakers out in L.A., has rebranded with a 20-year licensing deal with Crypto.com, which, I mean, that's pretty amazing, the amount of money that had to go into that deal. Now, that doesn't mean that they're going to, stick around, because I don't know anything about them. But, I mean, that's pretty big in terms of just a market boost for cryptocurrency in general, isn't it?
Absolutely. I mean, everything that is happening is a boost for cryptocurrencies, pretty much, except for the announcements that you get from people like Yellen and Warren, who still say that it's corrupt and it's not the future. But nobody's really listening.
Wait a minute,
to them.
hold on.
So,
Wait a second. Wait a minute. Government officials called it corrupt. Well, that's rich. Wow,
exactly.
they hate the competition, is what they're trying to say. And you're right. It's kind of like wherever you go and you see, I don't know, let's take cannabis as an example. When you see the anti-cannabis campaigns in states, it's often because the alcohol industry or other competing industries have pumped a lot of money into the anti-whatever it is campaign. which is the same with crypto. The people you see criticizing it are the people who have a vested interest in the alternatives to crypto and traditional investments. And quite frankly, the government doesn't really want us to get wealthy by any means or standards. So, I take what they say with not even a grain of salt. Let's see. In this, there was a stat here. Bitcoin since 2017 is up 6,187%. That
Correct.
is stunning. And it's, again, the world is changing. The rules are changing. It's a different world. And I keep saying that the rules have changed and people need to wake up and start. I didn't make the rules, but I can tell that they've changed. Is this, well, let me ask you this. How tough a time when an older investor comes in, how tough a time do you ever have of, I don't know, just telling them about the benefits of crypto? I mean, are they resistant to this sort of thing?
No, not resistant, curious, usually somewhat in the dark. They don't get it. But everybody says, hey, if you can show me how to make money in crypto, let's do it.
Right.
Because people know. For me, has been around in the business for a very long time. I think the most exciting thing about it is that when you're trading the coins in particular, it's like the old days of commodities. I mean, I'm talking about long before the CFTC started super regulating the commodities exchanges.
Right.
It's the same kind of thing. It's not regulated right now. There's lots of tax loopholes. There's a lot of movement. It's very technical. You have to follow the momentum. And so for people who, don't have my level of experience of trading commodities, don't necessarily understand that, but everybody understands that it's a growth. And at this point, actually, most people are familiar with crypto, unless we're talking about, the much older crowd. And even they are trading crypto to a degree if they can, or at least exposure to crypto through some of the other stocks or ETFs that can get you exposure to crypto. Like, right. For example, if you, wanted the new ETF that came out, BITO, B-I-T-O, that has gone down with the correction and is still establishing itself in terms of price. But there's plenty of places that you can look at, like Marathon Digital and MicroStrategy. These are areas that are basically trading like stocks, but they are obviously looking at an underlying of the coin. And that's exactly what commodities do. You have stocks that are related to different commodities, but yet it's an ETFs, but they're always going to look at the underlying future. Like gold, for example, or silver, or wheat, or corn, or any of those things. And so it'll take time for people to really understand it better. And just when you thought, oh, wow, all I have to do is understand crypto, comes the metaverse.
The what?
And now people are going, what? What's
the wait? What's
what?
I've not heard of that. What is
the
that?
The metaverse, which is Facebook's new thing.
Oh,
metaverse.
Oh, that's right.
Yes, metaverse.
I got
yes,
you.
Yes. So that is yes. So that's another thing to keep eyes on now is the whole notion of it's basically you can communicate in the virtual space as yourself, represented through a 3D avatar as yourself. Like Nike is actually doing it in the sales mode, where if you want to go try on a pair of sneakers, you can have yourself looking at yourself with sneakers that you can put on virtually to see how they look without ever leaving your computer. I know it's very heady, and I don't think we have time to go into it further, but this is another area of where, so the technology changes are so fast and furious. It is numbing for people who are older, who, just still look at things very fungible, very tangible,
right.
and don't understand the virtual world.
So again, if I wanted, just, as an example, if I wanted to try on some women's clothes, I could go into this alternate universe thing, and I could try on women's clothes and see what I look like in them. But,
if that's what floats your boat, then absolutely.
That's why I love you.
That's
you
your
are
thing, Brad.
non-judgmental. Can't get a rise out of Mish. All right. So the new trading model, is there a name for the new crypto trading model that you at Market
Yes.
Gauge? What's it called?
It's called Crypto Pulse.
Crypto
And
Pulse.
you can find it, Pulse. And if you go to our website, which is marketgauge.com, MarketGauge. Some people get that confused.
Yeah.
It's right there on the homepage, right up front. We're still offering it at a discount at this point. So if you want to go check it out, this is a good time to get involved. Otherwise, our costs are going to go up because it's really been extremely popular as we rolled it out.
That's great. And I love the fact that it's, I think one of the biggest problems, or the second biggest problem after not understanding the crypto market, is finding somebody to trust that can walk you through it and, is giving you the fair shake. And that's why we love Mish Schnieder over at Market Gauge, because you're one of the good ones, and we have to stick together, Mish.
Thank you so much.
See?
Yes, we do.
All right. Well, happy Thanksgiving, and I guess we will. We may talk before Christmas. Just depends on if you're not offended this time, it'll be good. In that restraining order, I don't think that's still in effect. So I think we're all right. All right, Mish. Be well.
Thank you. Happy Thanksgiving to you all.
You bet.
Thank you.
Same to you.
The Daily Mojo.
I kid you not, my finger is defective. Do you ever get that where your fingers get so dry?
When you tap, the tap doesn't pick up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I've been putting lotion on my hands.
Yep.
All morning, if I can. And I think it's from, getting I've got grease under my fingernails. Yeah, I hate this manual labor stuff. Has got to stop. I'm just, whatever
it's
happened
beating
to
me down. Manual labor.
It has just beat the hell out of me, and I'm missing the interns feeding me grapes. The good days, the good old days. You never know what you got till it's gone. Am I right?
Never know what you got till it's gone.
Let's see here. Who's be from the SAV? Brad is desperate and willing to do anything to get his boat to float. Happens as you get older. I'm the Heat. I don't think they're listening to this show, but it's kind of funny.
The Heat.
When you, that's a huge listener. When you take screenshot of Twitter, image data is copied to clipboard. Why? Because they're always watching you. That's why. And effing Florida man, but I did catch this right after I said it, and I will admit when I'm wrong. It takes a strong stand-up guy to admit when he's wrong, and I was wrong when I said it's too early to start drinking on a Monday. Because we all know you can't drink all day if you don't
start in the morning.
Thank you very, very much.
You're welcome. Absolutely.
I almost lost track of my goals and my values, and everyone seems to have noticed. All right, so hold on. The sponsor of this half hour, My Pillow. I knew it was somebody in there. MyPillow.com. Mike Lindell. I think he's a patriot. You know how much money he has spent of his own trying to right what I believe are wrongs in this country, and spending a small fortune of his fortune. And if you believe that, or if you don't even want the politics to get involved, if you just want the nicest, most comfortable pillow that you've ever stuck up underneath your head, or in Ron's case, between your knees.
Thank you.
It has protected you from getting pregnant, though, Ron. I will say that. Since you've been doing that, you have not been pregnant.
So it's working. That's fun.
Plus, over at MyPillow.com, they have a 3-inch mattress topper. And, if you use the radio, again, you go to MyPillow.com, click on radio listener specials. Promo code is Mojo50. If you are interested in the 3-inch mattress topper, you'll save 30% and you'll get free 2 standard pillows. Whew. He's giving it away.
I started to say the standard pillows are worth that.
Yes, they certainly are. And I said before, I wanted to get Doc Kitty well, technically it's a dog bed, but, a cat bed. But that cat has so many different places to sleep, and he chooses to sleep on top of my pillow. Gets up on top of it, the head of the bed, and just does that thing that whatever cats do, the marching thing.
Yep.
And then curls up in the ball with his head upside down and his tail wrapped across his nose. Cats are so weird. They're gonna take over the planet. But if you have a dog, Ron doesn't have a dog house. We all know that.
But I have 4 dogs.
There you go. So if you need a comfy bed for your big old dog, who's a good boy, that's right. Go to mypillow.com and use the promo code Mojo50 and save money on that as well. All right. So in my never-ending quest to try to end on a positive note. Hang on a minute. There's
a quest that we cannot seem to.
Let's see here. No, don't have anything. Colorado.
Nothing positive happening in the world right now.
Right, so. It's pretty much on fire. So in Colorado, and Beaver, thank you for sending me this because it is, she said it to me, she said, drink 3 shots and then read this story. In Colorado, the state board there has dropped one, or I guess they have dropped, sex offender term, calling it a negative label. The way sex offenders are labeled is changing in Colorado. The board that sets state standards voted last week to change the term sex offenders to reflect so-called person-first language. Ugh. The Sex Offender Management Board, which is made up of everyone from public defenders to prosecutors, sets standards and guidelines for treatment providers, so the new terminology will only be used in that context. It doesn't change the term sex offender in law or the criminal justice system, but some worry it's a step in that direction. So it's, to a lot of people, it's kind of like the guy on Twitter who was saying, why are they putting a trigger warning at the beginning of rush hour? It reflects standards from a day gone by, could seem racist, offensive, blah, blah, blah. It is the slow march of controlling the language.
Yeah.
And, I mean, personally, I think they're retarded and gay for doing it. But
I see what you did there.
It's just, I mean, this is again, they just start taking over words and changing the meaning, which normalizes stuff that would not ever in a million years be normalized. Derek Logue, who was apparently a sex offender, says he shouldn't have to carry the label for life. Referring to me by a label for something I did half my life ago is inappropriate and downright offensive. He argued that client would be a better term. Here's the problem with, in some cases, there are, and we've seen the stories of kids in high school, sexting each other, naked pictures, whatever. And even though, one of them, even though they're both 17 or one's 16, one's 17 or 15, 16, whatever it is, and they've sent a naked pic to the other is technically in possession of child pornography, which would get you registered on the sex offender list, right?
Yeah. So
is that should there be made an exception there? Or do we draw I mean, we've all seen what happens when you start making exceptions is, it's the old give an inch, take a mile thing. But I've always had a problem with that when you're, kids in high school. Now, obviously it's a life lesson, but do you get labeled that with that stigmatizing label for the rest of your life because when you were in high school, 15, 16 years old, and you traded pics and did whatever, got caught, and now you're a sex offender for life? Is that fair?
I would say there are circumstances where it would not be.
Right. It's kind of like the Grease thing. Was it Holland, wherever, Australia, wherever it was, at Grease, this high school had decided that they weren't going to put on the play Grease because it was sexist and inappropriate, etc., misogynistic, I think. And although Grease is a great play, it's a great musical, great movie. I mean, if you listen to the lyrics for Grease Lightning, it's kind of like the Walk This Way. Yeah, I think it was Walk This Way. Met a cheerleader, a real young bleeder.
Mm-hmm.
If you stop and listen to the lyrics of some of these songs, you're like, wow, I can't believe they're playing that at the 7th grade dance recital or the 4th grade ballet, whatever it is. And it's the same thing with Grease. If you listen to Grease Lightning, there are some lyrics in there that might not be, appropriate for 6th graders or 7th graders. So where do you draw the line? Where do you start making compromises in the name of fairness? Or do we just not, because we've learned now that when you start compromising, they kick you in the teeth while you're down.
Kick you in the ding-ding.
You get kicked in the ding-ding. We'll continue this discussion later, because right now...
What do you mean it's last call?
It's time to go. And quite frankly, how can you have last call if you haven't started drinking already in the morning? I was wrong on so many levels. I apologize. I may need to be spanked. Could you make that phone call for me?
Should we all get in line now?
Well, if you want to do it again, will you wear that little leather thing? 2 hours of the Daily Mojo that you can't unsee or unhear for Monday. This is the 22nd of November. Holy shnikes. Let's see if any of the lessons stuck in the year 2020, year of our Lord. Metallus, Mississippi. Language usually evolves naturally. However, we are on dangerous grounds with changing our language. I wonder how accurate an American history text about 2021 will be in 100 years. You're assuming we'll be around in 100 years.
Yep.
But yes.
Yep.
I mean, yeah, the language does change. And I'm sure that there are always fights about it. We just happen to know about them all now because of our communication expertise. When we're knocked back into the Stone Age, not so much. Unvaxxed rabbit hole, Jill hole. It's called the dumbing down of America. Change meanings because that makes it so much better. Right? James in Louisiana. Since when is life fair, Real Brad Staggs? You're right. It is never fair.
Never fair.
Sometimes it's fair, but that's a rarity. It's like a unicorn.
Sometimes it's more fair to others.
Yes, it is. And so often we don't get to see karma reach around and smack people in the face. B from the SEV, if today's happy ending to the Daily Mojo leaves us more traumatized than before, you're doing it wrong. That does kind of happen, doesn't it? And Beaver73, spankings happen always in my closet. For you, first one's free. How long does it take to get to her place, Ron? Not that long, right?
There you go.
I can get there. Will you drive?
Oh, yeah. I'll drive.
I'll bet you will. Bet you will. Is there a, coming up next, is there an Abnormal Realities?
Yeah, from Friday. It's our Freaky Friday edition replay.
Wow, so another train wreck, huh?
Yep.
Good for you. Good for
Always
you. Holding the standard high. Don't forget, your Daily Mojo has been brought to you by the supple, lotioned fingers and palms of real Ron Phillips over there spinning the dials radio style. Always remember, the smallest minority on earth is the individual. And boy, do the elite hate that. Those who deny individual rights cannot claim to be defenders of minorities. 6-7 for Tyrannus, resist stupid. And good night, Doc Thompson. Wherever you are, there's a leprechaun in your future coming up next. I swear, my fingers, can they be that dry? They are just not like stinking the stoom down. Hold on. Don't want to. Whew. What?
I just sneezed. Sorry.
Oh. And load directly on your device. What? I don't know what the hell they're. Did you upgrade to the new
on
Mac
my
OS
laptop?
yet? You did?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Because
Monterey.
It's they made a lot of changes. They fixed all the crap that didn't need fixing. And then left
Screwed
other
up the stuff
exactly.
Yeah.
Look, it's a little guy.
Good morning, Mojo 50. I'm Leprechaun, and here with the bell count for the Daily Mojo, Monday, November 22nd, 2021. Today there were no missed innuendo bells, a couple of close calls, but they got them. 7 actual bells, 3 rim shots, and a correct answer. Peace out, boys. Stay healthy. I'll talk to y'all mañana.
I love it when Dave says, I don't want that leprechaun guy to get me.
Yeah.
I think he may have a fear of leprechauns.
Leprechaun.
Who knew that seals were afraid of leprechauns? Think about that.
Persnickety.
How many times have I used that to describe you?
Persnickety.
Yeah.
But can you define it?
Persnickety.
No, it's like petty, maybe.
Like petting?
No, petty or
I'd like to persnickety you. I'd like to.
It could even be, yeah, petty.
Petty. Is that you going with that as your final answer?
Yeah.
It's an adjective, over particular and fussy. Like I said, many times I have described you as
persnickety.
Right, but not usually. From one dead guy to another.
That is a wrap.
And we will see you mañana. That's
Bye, everybody.
That's tomorrow.